They called her a queen, but she was far more than that. She was a diplomat, a military genius, and a symbol of unshakable resistance. Queen Nzinga of Ndongo and Matamba didn't just rule. She fought back against one of history's most ruthless forces, European colonization. While kings and rulers around her surrendered their thrones to the Portuguese Empire, she became the wall they could not break. Born in 1583, in the royal family of the Ndongo Kingdom, what is now Angola, Nzinga grew up surrounded by both privilege and danger. Her father, King Kilwanji, saw the growing threat of Portuguese soldiers who came in search of land, gold, and slaves. From a young age, Nzinga trained in politics, diplomacy, and combat. She learned the art of negotiation, the skill of archery, and the strategies of warfare. Her sharp mind and commanding presence made her stand out even among the royal court. She could read the motives of men, spot weakness, and turn it into advantage. In a time when women were often excluded from politics, Nzinga carved her place with sheer brilliance. In 1622, her brother, King Mbande, sent her as an ambassador to negotiate with the Portuguese governor in Luanda. It was here that Nzinga's legend truly began. When she arrived, the Portuguese tried to humiliate her. They offered her no chair, forcing her to stand before their governor. But Nzinga refused to be made small. She ordered one of her servants to kneel, sat upon his back, and met the governor eye to eye. That single act told the Portuguese, "I am not beneath you. I am your equal." The negotiation was a success. Nzinga secured a peace treaty and even convinced the Portuguese to release a group of her captured people, but the peace was short-lived. The Portuguese continued to push into Ndongo, capturing land and selling her people into slavery. When her brother died, Nzinga took the throne as queen. She inherited a kingdom under siege, but she did not panic. She reorganized her army, forged alliances with neighboring African kingdoms, and used diplomacy to buy time when she needed it. But when talks failed, she turned to war. Nzinga was a master of guerrilla tactics. She led her warriors into the dense forests and marshes where Portuguese soldiers were slow and clumsy. She struck quickly, then melted away into the landscape. Her warriors were fiercely loyal, many of them former slaves who had escaped Portuguese captivity and found freedom under her rule. She even allied with the Dutch in the 1640s, when they briefly challenged Portuguese power in Angola. For Nzinga, alliances were not about loyalty, they were about survival. She would use any opportunity to weaken her enemy. Her leadership wasn't just about war. She transformed Matamba, the neighboring kingdom she conquered, into a thriving trading power. She opened her borders to runaway slaves, deserters, and anyone willing to fight for freedom. This diverse population strengthened her armies and enriched her kingdom's culture. Nzinga also understood the power of image. She converted to Christianity, not out of devotion, but as a strategic move. By taking the name Ana de Sousa, she eased tensions with European powers, making them believe she was becoming civilized in their eyes, all while plotting their downfall. The Portuguese expected time to wear her down. But Nzinga ruled for nearly 40 years, leading military campaigns well into her 60s and 70s. Even as an elder, she rode into battle, spear in hand, defying every expectation of age and gender. She passed away in 1663 at around 80 years old, undefeated in spirit. Though the Portuguese eventually took her lands, they never broke her will, her people, or her legacy. Today, Queen Nzinga is remembered as one of Africa's greatest leaders, a woman who fought for her people's freedom against impossible odds. Her story is told not just in Angola but across the African diaspora as a reminder of what courage, intelligence, and determination can achieve. Nzinga's life teaches us this: true leadership is not about holding a crown. It's about standing unshaken when the world tries to force you to kneel. If you want more untold stories of African and indigenous history, the kind they never taught you in school, subscribe to Sankofa Secrets. The past isn't dead. It's waiting to be reclaimed.